Oh my gosh. I am so sorry that it has taken me this long to post this story. I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to start because there's so much information. I think that's why it's taken me so long to even post it. Also, it just seemed so daunting to get out my camera and set up everything and sit here and edit a video that I knew was going to be really long. So I just found this live feature. I don't even know how it works. If it's like Facebook, like I don't see. Can I like see if people are commenting? I don't even know. Oh, I can. Yay. um I run into people occasionally that are in town that have watched my story that will be like, "Where is the birth vlog?" And it's been, oh my God, it's been 7 months, guys. The twins are 7 months old. So it's been a long time. I'm really sorry. It's just been like, so at the beginning, I wanted to like write down all my notes and tell you everything like verbatim, exactly what happened, like every single little detail. I had like little Snapchat videos and pictures that I'd saved and things that I was gonna like make this whole montage, and I still want to do that, but I've been super busy and crazy, and like as soon as I had the babies, it was Thanksgiving, and then it was Christmas, and then it was January, and then it was Disney World in February with my family, and then it just got crazy. So that's already a full 2 minutes of me apologizing, but I really am sorry that it took me so long to talk about this. And I already know, since I'm doing a live video and I'm not reading my sheet and I'm not editing anything, that this is going to just ramble probably, and I'm going to jump all over the place. But I at least wanted to get my story out there to y'all in some way, shape, or form. So this is what happened. Dude, hold on. Let me get a sip of water. Yay! Sorry, I know. Sorry, Marie. I know, finally. If you just tuned back in, I just apologize for basically 3 minutes. But, alright. The last video I made, I was just watching it on my TV. I don't even know. You can't see it, but I was just watching it to refresh my memory of what I had said to you last. Not the one where I said, yay, they're here, but the one before that, when I was still pregnant. So I was like 34 in that video, 34 weeks. And I was, I think, telling you about preterm labor and all that. Anyways, I was still on bed rest there. I got to get off bed rest at 36 weeks, which was a Thursday. It was the Thursday before Thanksgiving, week before Thanksgiving. So I got to get off bed rest at 36 weeks. I had a maternal fetal medicine biophysical profile for the twins on Friday, 36 and 1. At the appointment the week before that, which I never updated you on, at 35 weeks, at maternal fetal, they told me that their bellies were still measuring small, and that if that was the case, they would induce me at 38 for sure, 38 weeks, which would have been the Thursday after Thanksgiving. So I was at least like in my mind, I need to pull up my calendar. This is why I wanted to make a list of all my stuff. And typically y'all are used to watching my videos where I edit everything so they don't end up being super long. And now I'm doing a live one, so I didn't have to edit. So sorry, you're gonna have to skip around. Let me go back to my calendar and go back to June. Go back to June. We're in June. Go back to December. If they were going to induce me, why can't I back up? At 38 weeks, that was going to be December 1st. All right, there. Okay, that's what I was looking for. December 1st is when they were going to induce me. week after Thanksgiving. And kind of all along, I kept thinking I'm going to have the babies by 38 weeks because my practice had already said that twins were delivered between 34 and 38, and most people didn't make it even to 36, and blah, blah, blah. Also, both of my kids naturally came by themselves on 38 weeks, exactly on the dot. So, thought for sure we're inducing at December 1st if they aren't here on their own. And I was having so many contractions all the time, I thought they were going to come on their own anyway. So on Friday, November 18th, I was 36 in one day. I went to maternal fetal. He checks them, and he's like, oh, I don't even know. This guy was like in and out. I hadn't seen him before. I'd seen other ones, and I don't even know if he realized I was a surrogate. But he was like, oh my gosh, the babies look great. They're actually back on target now, so we don't need to induce you. I literally like burst into tears on the table, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, no, I'm so happy that they're doing great. Like, I don't want them to be small. I don't want them to have IUGR. I was so happy they were doing great, but at that point, my body was done. My hips were done. My back was done. Honestly, one thing that hurt worse than anything with my own pregnancies was my belly button. Baby boy was laying transverse over baby girl for a lot of the end of it, and he moved all the time, and he tried to get out all the time, and there would be like an elbow like this poking out of my belly button. Like, I would literally cry in bed to my husband and be like, I swear I feel like my belly button's just about to rip open and the baby's gonna come out. Like, it hurts so bad. So I was just done, and I knew that they were good sizes. I knew they were okay, but I think it was just in my head. I'd been like, okay, at least I only have I have 2 weeks left. I have whatever. On that Thursday, I'm like, I have 2 weeks left, and then the next day I go and they're like, oh, we don't need to induce you. If we do, it would be 39, but we probably don't. So I'm like, oh my God. I left. I went in the parking garage. I called my best friend, who is also my internal medicine. She's my doctor anyway. And I was like crying. She thought something was wrong. I was like, I don't know. I'm not going to have the babies. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like, just take a deep breath. They're going to come on their own. It's going to be fine. I mean, I was like devastated. I went to go walk upstairs to my OB's office is above, one floor above the maternal fetal floor. And I was going to walk up there and just be like, what do I do? Like, am I really not going to have these babies till full term? I mean, I was just a head case at that point. Like, everything was really completely fine, but I was just like, oh my God. So anyway, my husband knew I had a bad day. I was upset. I called him. I was crying. When I got home, he's like, let's just go on a date night and get your mind off of it. Sergio, no, I didn't breastfeed. I pumped for a month for the babies, and then I stopped because it was really hard. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, he's like, let's just go on a date night. So we got the kids a babysitter. No, I think they spent the night with my mother-in-law. They weren't even here. We went to eat dinner, and we decided to go see the Fantastic Beasts movie, and we went to Target right before that to get some candy. Well, I had gotten off bed rest the day before, and even though I wasn't on strict bed rest, I could go around the house. I could, like, go to a friend's house, go to my parents' house, whatever. I just wasn't supposed to be, like, out shopping and sore nipples. Yeah, everybody has sore nipples when you pump or breastfeed. Anyway, sorry, I just got completely thrown off. We went to Target. I hadn't been walking around much. We didn't walk around. We weren't like on a leisurely 2-hour stroll around Target. We were only there for maybe 10 minutes getting candy. And then we went to the movie. So we're in the movie, and about halfway through, my feet were like completely numb. And you can't see in the movie theater, so I turned my flashlight on my phone and I shined it down onto my feet, and my ankles were huge. Like, humongous. And I'd had a little bit of swelling here and there, but this was like I felt like it was how they tell you in preeclampsia that you get immediate onset swelling. So I was like, oh my God. I went out into the lobby. My husband stayed in watching the movie and called the on-call nurse and told her. And she's like, you need to go to the nearest pharmacy, CVS, whatever, and do the blood pressure cuff thing. And if it's in this range, then you need to go straight to triage. And if it's not, then you can go home. And if you go home, just be on the lookout for headaches or blurred vision or, feeling like more swelling or whatever. She's like, go home, put your feet up, take a bath. All day the next day, my kids weren't going to be there because they were with my mother-in-law. So she was like, if you can stay in bed all day, just like put your feet up, take a bath, soak them, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. The next day was Saturday, and it was the fall, and I'm a huge college football fan. So I'm like, I'm just going to lay in bed and watch football all day. So I did. It got to be about 3 o'clock, and I still had a really dull headache over here and just in one side of my head. And I knew it probably wasn't preeclampsia because I didn't have a bunch of other signs for it. How have I been talking 11 minutes already, and I have so much more to say? Sorry. So I knew it probably wasn't preeclampsia, but one, I did have the headache, so I was a little bit nervous, especially since I said the whole time these weren't my babies, and I just wanted to take super extra precaution the whole time. And two, I just, when you're at the end of pregnancy and you're miserable, and it's like any chance that there is to just go find out if anything else is happening or if you get checked to see if you're further along. And at that point, the baby's parents weren't sure when to come down, if they were going to wait until right around Thanksgiving to try to come down, but we knew the airports were going to be crazy. So then we didn't know if they should just come and be in town waiting on us or waiting around for the baby to come, or if they should take off work. I mean, there's so many questions that they weren't sure when to come. So I'm like, I'm just going to go to the hospital. And what I thought they would do is check my urine for protein and see if I was preeclamptic. So, sorry, I had to wipe my nose. So I got to the hospital. My husband didn't even go with me because I was like, I'm just going to go. I'm going to lay in that little bed in the triage room, let them check my pee, and I'll be back home within like 2 hours. And I'm just going to lay there and watch football. So I did. I got there. I was by myself. I'm just chilling. I peed in the cup, and it sat in there for like an hour, and she never came in there to check it. And I kept being like, dude, the only reason I'm here is for you to check my urine so I can go. But they obviously had me hooked up to the monitors. They didn't check me. They were just seeing if I was contracting. Well, honey, I've been contracting for like 3 months at that point. So I'm like, I know I'm contracting, but it was never, if it was regular, it was never intense enough and whatever. Is anyone even still here? I can't even tell what is going on because it's not like Facebook Live. That's okay. It'll get posted for y'all to watch later. So she comes in to take my urine cup out of the bathroom finally, and she's like, I don't think that you're preeclamptic. Your blood pressure has been fine this entire time, but you are contracting pretty regularly, so we're going to wait and let the OB come and look at your strip and see what she thinks. And I'm like, why? Like, they're going to tell me my strip's fine? Like, whatever. So they're like, she's in a C-section, so it's going to be another hour or so. So then I'm just mad at myself, and I'm like, why did I come? I'm just sitting here, like, I'm uncomfortable in this bed. I'd rather be in my own bed. Anyway, she comes in after an hour. She's like, you're contracting like every 4 minutes, and they're pretty strong. Like, are you feeling them? And I'm like, yes, but I've been feeling them all along. I know they're strong. I've been feeling them this whole time. She's like, I'm just going to check you and see what were you the other day. I had gotten checked at the office like a week before, and they called me a 3, I'm pretty sure. So, 2.5 to 3. So she checks me, and she's like, has her hand in there, sorry to be graphic, and she's like, you're like almost a 6. And I was like, what? And she's like, we're going to say you're 5.5. And I was like, oh my God. And this was also like my favorite OB from the practice that knew that I had been like having a rough time there at the end. She knew I was ready to have the babies. So she like looks at the nurse and then looks at me and she was like, I'm going to just check you really gently and see if you can see if you're actually a 6. So she's, I mean, it's the longest check I've ever had. And then she stops and she's like, seriously though, your water's about to break any second, like it's bulging, and I do not feel comfortable sending you home when you're pregnant with twins and you're almost 6 centimeters. Like, typically they keep you if you're 5 centimeters no matter what. However, they aren't allowed to induce you if you're not 37 weeks. So they couldn't have given me like Pitocin or any of that stuff unless you're 7 centimeters. You have to either be 37 weeks, past 37 weeks and at least 5, or if you're not 37 weeks yet, you have to be at least 7 for them to like help things along like Pitocin or breaking your water or any of that stuff. So she's like, I want you to walk around the hospital and I want you to like do squats or go up and down the stairs a few times. Like, you need to get things moving so you don't stall out, because also with twin delivery, you don't want to get them in distress. Like, we weren't exactly sure what positions they were in, and she was just like, you don't want to prolong it. Well, then I'm thinking like, oh my God, like I told our IPs that I was coming to get checked for the preeclampsia stuff, but that I thought everything was fine and I was just going to take extra precaution. Sorry. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, if I'm almost 6 centimeters, almost 7 centimeters, and they're in New Jersey, and how are they going to get here in time? And what if I spit these babies out in like 3 hours? So I called them as calmly as I could. Actually, I think I texted her because I knew if I called her, I was going to be like bawling, crying, and just like, oh my God. So I texted her and like basically told her in a nutshell what was happening, and then said, call me when you can. So that at least she was like, let it sink in for a second. And I let it sink in for a second that she called me. So they were like, okay, we're going to get on the first flight we can get in tomorrow morning. But even then, the earliest they could get in was 11. So everyone was a little like, a little nervous. Like, it's a long drive. I think it's at least 10 hours. So it's either drive through the night and already take the risk or chance that I might have them within like 2 or 3 hours and they'd miss it, or get their rest and fly and like hope that maybe I could keep them in that long and whatever. So I walk around. I asked her if I could eat. She told me, I'm going to pretend you didn't ask me that, which I took as, yeah, you better go eat something, but you're not really supposed to, because if you have to have a C-section. I wasn't supposed to have a C-section, by the way, because baby A had been head down the whole time. So I walked around. I ate half of a Subway 6-foot sub. So I ate or 6 foot. Jesus Christ. Okay. 6-inch sub. I ate a 3-inch sub, basically. I came back up. My water still didn't break, but I was definitely contracting worse at that point. Like, it was getting more painful. So I got back. She checked me again. I was a 7. So that meant I got to stay. They transferred me over to labor and delivery. Oh, I missed a huge part. My BFF Dr. BFF. Why is it saying very bad connection? I don't know. She came. I'm going to do a part 2. So this is in 2 videos. So I left off at where I got admitted. Okay. Starting the next one in just a second.